Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Nitro Corner. I'm Paul the Nitro Skyverse. Let me get right into my analysis. I got plenty to say. Let's start with Charlotte, the women's champion. Will she destroy the women's revolution with her title reign? Yes. Let's face facts. She needs Ric Flair to help her with her title defenses. Her attitude just stinks of high heaven. Just because she's all that in a bag of chips does not mean that she is going to be credible enough as a woman's champion. Number 4, and fourthly, I guess what you want to call it, she needs the Montreal Screwjob to beat Natalya. Really? You need Little Nate, Charles Robinson, and Ric Flair to save your title this time? Really? Is that any way for a champion to conduct themselves? A true champion does not need any outside interference. Just like what your dad taught you when he was with the Four Horsemen. He couldn't make it out on his own most of the time because of the Horsemen interfering. Because he couldn't hack it. And Charlotte, I'm sorry, you can't hack it as champion. Forget it. It is over. I mean, really? The Montreal Screwjob? You're just ending up destroying the women's revolution just by your actions alone. Really? Time to grow up as far as I'm concerned. Now that I got that off my chest, let's talk about Roman Reigns. Will he ever be respected as champion? Eventually, down the road, he would be. It depends on whether he can beat AJ Styles at Extreme Rules. If he does that, then maybe the fans will start turning around in his favor. But he's got to do more hard work and more consistency in his title defenses to bring the fans around to respect him. It's a long haul. But look at John Cena. Fans booed him for about, 3-4 years? Even though he was a babyface fan favorite, but John's hard work made him switch around to be in his favor, and now it is Roman Reigns' turn. Just hard work, consistency is what Roman Reigns needs. Continue on as champion to get the fans to turn in your favor. So eventually, down the road, yes, he will be respected as champion, but he's got to put in more hard work and determination. And if he beats AJ Styles at Extreme Rules, that could be the turning of the tide as far as respect goes for Roman Reigns. Now let me talk about the most ignored champion today, and that's the United States Heavyweight Champion Kalisto. Maybe not for long if it's true with his back injury at the hands of Rusev. Maybe Rusev would become United States champion. But really, Kalisto has been a fighting champion and people ignore him. Why? Small stature, high flying ability? Unfortunately, they've seen that in Rey Mysterio Jr., and he was a world heavyweight champion. I don't know if Kalisto can continue being credible enough based on that to become something that the fans will attract to. Young kids? Yes. Adults? Who knows? I don't know about that, but kind of a shame that he's probably the most ignored champion today in professional wrestling. Finally, let me talk about the Vaudevillians. Yes, now that they're number 1 contenders. Yes, now they've made a name for themselves. Now they got to prove themselves against the New Day at Extreme Rules on pay-per-view. The Vaudevillians is a good team. They know what to do. They're from the old age of wrestling. I just love when they put up their dukes like that. They got credibility and they can put themselves over. Now, the big test for them is, can they beat the New Day for the tag team titles? We'll see if they're hungry enough for it at Extreme Rules when the tag team titles are on the line. Yes, you're now the number 1 contenders. Now, prove yourself. And that's it for my analysis for this month. Moving on now, it's time for trivia time. And thanks for the comment from my last Nitro Corner about how hard the trivia questions are. I do that on purpose because real wrestling fans like to have a challenge, and I try to provide that with this challenge. And believe me, I got 2 pretty good questions this month that will really challenge you. Here we go. It's time for trivia time. All right, first trivia question. And don't forget, the answers will come on June 10th when the Delaware Pro Wrestling Report comes back here on YouTube. I will have the answers to these two trivia questions. Question number 1. True or false? The first mega card in pro wrestling was the Super Bowl of Wrestling in 1973 in Cleveland, Ohio. Let me repeat. True or false? The first mega card in pro wrestling was the Super Bowl of Wrestling in 1973 in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, moving on to the second trivia question. And it involves Antonio Inoki. You know, Antonio Inoki was a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion, beating Bob Backlund in Tokushima, Japan on November 30th, 1979, and then lost it back to Backlund unofficially on December 6, 1979 in Tokyo, Japan. It was so controversial that the WWE in the United States never recognized Antonio Inoki for many years as a former WWE World Champion. But the second trivia question is, in what year was Antonio Inoki finally recognized in the United States as a former WWE champion? And I will give you a clue. And I will give you one clue. It was the inspiration for this recognition was from an article in a now defunct magazine called Sports Review Wrestling, I believe, that ran the same article. A month after that, Antonio Inoki was finally recognized as a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. To repeat, in what year was Antonio Inoki recognized finally in the United States as a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion? The clue was an article by Sports Review Wrestling, a now defunct magazine, featuring this title change, was the inspiration behind the recognition. Got those two questions? Try to think up the answers. I will reveal the answers June 10th on the Delaware Pro Wrestling Report. Now it's time for the time machine. Let's go back in time, shall we? We'll start first with the WWE. May 26, 1984 in Baltimore, Maryland, the Iron Sheik defeated Bob Backlund by countout. We'll go to the CWA in Memphis next. May 28, 1976 in Louisville, Kentucky, Plowboy Frazier defeated Jerry the King Lawler. Then, May 12, 1979, Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy defeated the original Sheik and Tom Renesto Sr. Tom Renesto Sr. was a former Southern Tag Team title holder, I believe from 63 to 66 on 3 different occasions. And he became a promoter, I believe, in 67 all the way through to the mid-80s, working for both Nick Gulas and Jerry Jarrett. Then May 8th, 1982, Southern Tag title match. Bill Dundee and Steve Keirn defeated Beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Brown Sugar. And then we go to Big Time Wrestling in Detroit. May 27, 1971, in Toledo, Ohio, the original Sheik defeated Oriba Luis Martinez. That's right, Luis Martinez was the first wrestler to coin the phrase Oriba before Tito Santana did. And that's it for the time machine for this week. Well, as promised, here is the big announcement about June and July. The next edition of the Nitro Corner will be on June 25th of this year. Make sure you tune in. And of course, coming up, it's around my birthday time, so 2 gifts for you, the fans. We'll have a birthday marathon, a whole week's worth of great classic matches on my YouTube channel under the list of the matches, the playlist section of my channel. That will start on June 26th to July 1st. And also on July 1st, a very special edition of the Nitro Corner, Ask the Nitro. This is where you come in. Beginning now till June 20th, please send me any questions about any history in professional wrestling that you would like to see answered. Give me questions about my opinion on certain things that are going on in professional wrestling, or make your comments about the show or about what's going on in wrestling. I encourage you to do that, and I will read them on July 1st as a special edition of the Nitro Corner, Ask the Nitro birthday celebration. Now remember the deadline to post your questions and responses, and you can post them two ways. On my Facebook page, facebook.com/Paul Skivers, and on my YouTube channel under this video in the comments section. Those are the two ways you can get involved. I need to have these responses by June 20th. That's right, June 20th by midnight. After that, I will gather all the responses and get the show ready just for you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Nitro Corner. I will see you on June 25th for the next episode of the Nitro Corner, and then June 10th for another edition of the Delaware Pro Wrestling Report. And on a side note, I want to thank everyone who came out during NASCAR weekend. It was a great weekend. Thank you, Dover Downs, for the great hospitality. Until next time, I'm Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long, everybody.